Well, hi everybody. I'm John Ritland, and this is my review of WWE Smackdown from Dallas. Yes, it's a delayed review because I decided to watch NWA Hard Times, that pay-per-view, instead of watching Smackdown live. I made the right decision because holy shit, this show didn't really have anything. This is a go-home show for the Royal Rumble. Now I get it. They want to take it easy. They want to put on a show, especially since Fox has paid them, a few $billion over 5 years for this shit, and they want to make sure that they put on an entertaining show for the crowd. Now, a few positives came out of this show. They started off with a match. That's a pretty good damn idea. Unfortunately, they only had 3 matches on a 2-hour show. AEW Dark has 3 matches on their show. NXT, when it was a 1-hour show, would sometimes have 4 matches on it, and they would be of varying quality. This show had absolutely nothing to it. It just didn't. It did have Corey Graves in one of the loudest jackets ever. I know Corey Graves has been concussed repeatedly, but I didn't think he was concussed to the point that he thought a jacket like that would look good. Maybe Carmella dressed him. I mean, I don't know. She doesn't really know about fashion. But anyway, let's just start off with that match. Usos and Reigns versus Rude, Ziggler, and Corbin. And guess what? It went on for nearly 30 pissing minutes. Now, I do criticize when they open up with a 20-minute promo. So it's nice that they had a match that lasted a bit. This match did not need to last this long. I mean, I get why it did. It's to hype up Corbin and Reigns having their match and then likely meeting in the Rumble if, I'm guessing Corbin gets eliminated and then he eliminates Reigns. And we continue that feud because that's pretty much where we're going with this. There were a lot of boos for Corbin, so at least Dallas did something right. Dallas was a pretty damn loud crowd. I know that a few of my mutuals were there, and congratulations to you guys for being really loud. Jimmy did get hurt at one point. I don't know if it was legit or if it was just like, a way to make it look legit because he kind of tripped on the apron, kind of hurt his knee, and then got taken to the back, especially after Ziggler just came and railroaded him right into the goddamn steps. And from there really wasn't much of anything to it. You had, Jey Uso and Reigns. They fought both of them off. We went through 2 commercial breaks. At one point, I believe it was Corey that said, Corey or Cole, I don't really care who, Dolph Ziggler got a mouthful of Roman's boot. I'm not here to kink shame. But then Cole, of course, said, Superman punch, not the Superman kick. Why is Michael Cole still allowed to have a commentary job? He is fucking terrible. Jimmy comes back, and the Usos win. Oh, and then Corbin and Reigns fight out in the crowd because they're going to be able to fight all the way over Minute Maid Park. I don't care about this feud. I don't. We know that Reigns is either going to win the Rumble or win the Chamber match and then beat The Fiend at Mania, and this Corbin feud has been atrocious. We get an XFL ad. It's not going to fucking last at all. We then get the Progressive Match Flow sponsoring the women's recaps. I see what you did there. It's very subtle. Lacey interview. She goes over growing up, losing her dad to addiction. And this was a good emotional interview. Now, there were a few boos for Lacey. Maybe they're not buying into this totally because they have done a weird 180 all of a sudden with Lacey becoming a babyface. Now, I'm not against it. She has a good backstory and can be a good babyface. But she did spend pretty much the last couple years of her career calling the fans nasties, especially being on the main roster and calling the fans nasties. So it is a bit of a change. However, again, she does have a good story, of growing up and had some good emotion. They showed recaps of Lacey's daughter, at that show last month, having that incredible game face. You can tell she's a daughter of a Marine. That was a goddamn good game face. That was also the highlight of that particular SmackDown episode. Bayley then comes out and attacks Lacey and says, where's your daughter now? This was better than what they've been doing with Lacey. There was a brutal shot at one point, like a pretty hard shot to Lacey at this juncture. It was really loud. I don't know if they muted the mics or what, but it came across pretty damn loud. And then we get Carmella and Dana in a backstage interview, and shout out to Catwoman13 who said they're going to be in a bronzer and Botox match. That was wonderful. Hashtag bronzer and Botox match. Easy for me to say. So we then get Lacey and Bayley still brawling. And Lacey had her shoe off and was hitting Bayley over the head. And because Lacey's a Caucasian with a white shoe, hitting a Mexican, of course, Fox allowed it. So we then get Alexa and Nikki Cross versus Sonya and Mandy. Or do we? No. This match literally starts and then Lacey and Bayley are running to the ring. They brawl and we get a DQ. That was the extent of what happened with the women tonight. Way to slap the women across the goddamn face. Look, I get it. You don't want to overextend some of the women. You want to make sure that people are fresh for the Rumble. You only got a couple days. I get it. You've also only had 5 women declare themselves eligible for the Rumble. Maybe there's been a few others since. I don't know. But as of like Wednesday or even Thursday, it was 5 women. You got 30 women to fill those spots. Now, if you want to have some surprise returns and some one-offs, please, Victoria, please do that. I would be all for it. I'm fine with that. But just seriously, this is the extent of what you did with the women. This right here knocked the show down a full grade because it was embarrassing. Like, just do the match, have the match go at least 6 to 7 minutes, and then do this. You could have cut 10 minutes off of the 10 or of the 6-man tag, even though it felt like a 10-man tag. It just felt like everybody was in on that goddamn thing. And then we get Elias doing a song. They've kind of jumped the shark with the Elias gimmick right here. And I like Elias. I think he can be entertaining. This just didn't work. It also doesn't help that they booked him like absolute shit. They turned him face and then turned him heel suddenly later. And then he was out injured and they turned him face again. We then get Braun, Elias versus Nakamura and Cesaro. Sami Zayn at ringside. Thankfully, they did not have Braun really do much singing because he already embarrassed himself by dancing. We don't need to hear him sing. Maybe he does sing well. I don't know. I didn't care about this one bit. I remember when the Intercontinental Championship mattered quite a bit, but it doesn't matter anymore on Nakamura, and I love Nakamura. He can make this Intercontinental Championship matter. He made another Intercontinental Championship matter before, but no, he's not going to make this matter because creative just doesn't care about the championship. It mattered when The Miz had it, and The Miz and Dolph Ziggler had those incredible matches in 2016. But fucking hell, it hasn't meant a goddamn thing at all, and that's a shame because it's a very prestigious workhorse championship. The match is fine. Can Cole stop calling Nakamura Shin? That's just what I want to know. Elias ended up paying Cesaro with a top rope elbow drop. Cool. We then get Big E with an oil boy because he was all oiled up and everything, and if he's all oiled up, it's hard to get a grip on him and toss him over the top rope. I hate to say this, Big E, but you might want to talk to Stone Cold Steve Austin about the 1996 Rumble when he got eliminated because he had too much baby oil on him, and a lot of wrestlers did. It didn't work out in his favor. Big E, study your history. Come on. We then get Kofi, still with the Chris Bay blonde hair, and if you don't know who Chris Bay is, Dashing Chris Bay, please check out his matches. He is fantastic. We then get Corbin in a backstage interview railing against Kayla. Kayla's adorable, by the way, and Kayla's a very good backstage interviewer. Corbin is not very good at interviews. Corbin says he will beat Roman over every inch of Minute Maid Park. He's going to beat him with every inch. I don't know. I might have misunderstood that. They run the Rumble numbers. And we get we get, the figures and stuff like that, and, the massive, huge manatees that have been there, and all the people that have lasted longer and everything, and they counted the Greatest Royal Rumble. The Greatest Royal Rumble doesn't count because the Saudi Arabian shows don't count, and also, I talked to a mutual on Twitter, and if we're going to count that Rumble, then we have to count 40-man Rumbles that have been, we have to count other Rumbles that have happened on free TV, and that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And also Greatest Royal Rumble doesn't fucking count. It was a fucking joke. It's great that Daniel Bryan lasted about 76 minutes. Great for him. But, oh well. We then get Sheamus with a little, Sheamus promo thing. He's hunting short people. He's going twink hunting. Hi, Noah. I figured you would like that joke. And then we get Kofi with Big E versus John Morrison with The Miz at ringside. John Morrison has had the flattest goddamn return in WWE in a number of years. It's unbelievable. I'm not saying it's like, maybe it's not the flattest, but it's one of the flats. It's just ridiculous. Miz does cut a promo on the fan, says, "Oh, you guys didn't cheer Morrison." It's probably because even though John Morrison is an incredible athlete, very nice guy, I got to meet him at the first ever indie show I went to, can still move really goddamn well, and I wish him nothing but the best and hope this works out. But he's had a really flat return. Like, maybe he'll be in the Rumble. Maybe he'll do something cool to, avoid elimination. Who the fuck knows? We then get, we get Morrison winning. We get Morrison winning with Starship Pain after big old schmoz and everything. And then Bryan and The Fiend have a contract signing. The Fiend, or, Bray Wyatt's trying to send a fax, a Funhouse fax, and that doesn't work. But he says, well, you're not facing me, you're facing the Fiend, so it's only fair if he signs the contract. And then the lights go out in spoopiness, and then the Fiend appears and suddenly attacks. By the way, the Fiend's Bray Wyatt, in case you don't know, commentary kind of tells us that. And he beats shit out of him, and then signs a contract in his own blood. And the crowd chants, "You've got issues." And that's where the show ends. I don't know how in the world I managed to get 10 minutes out of this review, because there was literally nothing on this show. Honestly, I hate to say it, but this show was flat. It was flat D. I'm not going to say F, because nothing particularly offended me on this show, but D. It was just such a flat goddamn show. Maybe a pull up there. Who knows? Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.